You live.
Hi everybody, look like we got our technical difficulties together. We're getting ready to start True Love Movement Tuesdays. We're excited to be with you. We're excited to share this time with you. We are live on the porch at True Love Movement's Healing Home. It feels good. It's a beautiful day. Got a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about, a lot of questions possibly to answer. Maybe, I don't know. Like, you know, Brother Shaq and I, we're always talking and we're always connecting and connected and deciding on what we think is going on in this world on a regular basis. So this is no different. And I'm touching my face. But hey, it's my face, my fingers. I know where they've been. I know I'm right here at my house. We all good.
There we go. Yeah,
we all good. Yeah. Okay, please share this show. And just doing like a check. Can everybody hear us?
Yeah, can you
hear us? If you can hear us, put your thumbs up, please, because we are outside. And just enjoying the weather and getting some sun, listening to the birds. And let me say, according to Franklin Avenue, ain't nobody really distancing because the traffic is still normal as it normally is at this time. So
that's right. Greetings, family. Putting it together now. I guess we can wait a little bit for some folks to come on in. Hey, Mama Charlene, she got it.
Hi.
Yeah.
That's my sister. Hi. Hey, sister, we've been talking about them high breaths, right? Remember what Baba Zag said about them high breaths for asthma and for bronchitis and like your lungs,
right?
And mucus,
right?
So this is the time when we use what we know.
Pull out the tools, man.
Pull all your tools out. Shout out to Baba Zag.
Shout out to Baba Zag. I'm sure his phone lighting up in these times.
Yes.
Nowadays.
To get you some herbs.
Yeah.
All the things that we know work. The things we already know works. It's about doing them and with fidelity.
That's right.
And with vigilance.
Got Mama Tamai, she's in there too.
Hey, my sister.
Yeah.
It's good to spend this time with y'all. I know everybody's busy and everybody's taking care of their households, but it's nice to spend a little time together on a Tuesday.
Well, busy running around.
And what time is it?
It is 12:48.
12:48. It took us a little time to get our technical difficulties together, but we're here. We're here together. We're safe. We're healthy.
That's right.
And we just want to share with you our thoughts, some thoughts.
Today's topic is flattening the curve. Y'all been hearing about flattening the curve, right, family? And they're talking about the spread of this rona mess. Flattening the curve. We got Brother Akil in there, Akil Alameen.
Oh, hey brother, tell your beautiful wife I said happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy New Year to my sister. And that means she making 45. Yeah. Listen. 45 has been an eye-opener for me. It's been, listen, this whole 45th year has been a trip. And only a sharpening kind, like the kind that makes you better, the kind that makes you realize that you have to be authentic in every single thing you do and say. That's what 45 has been like. So shout out to her 45. I know it's going to be beautiful and great and all those things.
Right. Yeah.
Rise in power though.
Yeah.
Rise in power to beautiful baby Asali.
That's right.
That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. Rise in power to our little angel. Little honey girl. And then rise in power to DJ Black and Mild.
Black and Mild.
A very good friend.
Yeah.
Grew up together, and our mothers were actually really, really close friends, if not best friends. Our mothers, you know, that's how we got close. And shout out to all of his beautiful light, You know, he had a light to shine, and he shined it.
That's right.
And continues to shine on the other side, Ashe.
That's right. We're having we're seeing a lot of new ancestors, and I suspect we're going to see a lot more during this time. You know, big shout out to everybody who has been, you know, directly or indirectly, you know, because we all have been indirectly impacted by it, but many folk have been directly and even closer. There are folk now that are in the hospital, you know, and hoping for a recovery, a speedy recovery. So we want to send them some light.
And so when you say, I mean, was there something else you want to say? My bad.
No. I was just saying, I was just acknowledging that though there are those two ancestors, and you know there are so many ancestors. Unfortunately, we can't name them all, which is really telling. But yeah, go ahead.
I wanted you to give a little, because there's only like a couple of sources of information that I actually follow when it comes to this. And so I've seen Flattening the Curve a couple of times, and I do understand what they're saying, but Brother Sheikh, if you could just break it down for our people about what in the media is flattening the curve.
The media is talking about flattening the curve of the spread of the rona because it just really boils down to the hospital and the healthcare systems are not equipped to handle the rate of, you know, people who are being infected in so much as the actual hospital bed facilities, hospital personnel, and of course the ventilators that folk have to go on, and I even hear there's the face mask shortage in many respects. So they're talking about the curve of the spread to where it doesn't overwhelm the hospital systems, so that folk who are infected can't receive adequate care. That's what the whole flattening the curve. They just talk about the curve of the growth, or the increase rather, of infected people, because they call them cases. You know, there's a lot of dehumanization going on that makes this a lot more palatable. People become cases. Of course, many of, you know, we were cases long before that, as opposed to people. But people are cases, and so they just want to spread they want to slow the infectious rate in a way that the healthcare facilities can accommodate the people who are coming in.
Right.
That's what they're talking
and there
about.
is that jargon or whatever specifically for New Orleans? Because I know our cases, they're saying New Orleans' cases are exponentially higher than other places. So are they saying flattening the curve nationally, or they're saying it for New Orleans?
Well, the curve, what I've been hearing is it's national. They're talking about flattening the curve nationally, but New Orleans, of course, has a unique situation, like as you were saying. And I'm looking for. There was a report that came out this morning that had
the stats.
Had all of the stats, where New Orleans was number 5, I think, in the nation with cases in terms of our per capita. And so there are, in other words, the news report, and we'll definitely get to that.
Yes.
So according to that thing that many of the local lawmakers, or local meaning, I guess state, on the state level, I think city and state level, were saying that they're surprised that they're not hearing about New Orleans in the national news, and New Orleans isn't receiving national media attention because of the increase. And of course the increased rate is due to the more aggressive testing, right, that's happening. I think as of Saturday, New Orleans had the very first drive-through testing facility. Did you know that? In the nation. It was the first drive-through testing facility pilot program here in New Orleans.
New Orleans always seem to be in the midst all the time. And it's more than just, New Orleans being a major city in America. New Orleans has been through so much, and it continues to go through it, and I wonder why.
Right.
But I was under the impression, and listen, I'm reading what I can. I'm reading stuff that resonates with me. I'm not reading everything.
Right.
I'm not reading everything. So the fact that I thought that was only for nurses and doctors and healthcare professionals. I thought they were only testing those right now. And then because y'all know that I do this work and give thanks for True Love Movement because it's something that we can do over the phone. Or it's something that we can do via video. And we have been, and I have been working with my sisters. And, you know, about 1/3 of my sisters think they have it.
Mm-hmm.
They think they have it. And they want to go get tested, and they want to, and then we start to break it down and say, well, have you taken your temperature?
Yeah.
Have you let's not let our minds take us away here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Our minds are very powerful. Something we always say, huh, Brother Shay? Our minds are very, very powerful. We have to be very careful of inundating, and I'm saying that right? Inundating ourselves into this media so much that we begin to feel sick.
Psychosomatic.
That we begin to feel sick, and then we tumble from there. We say, oh no, you know, and then stress and worry and fear, you know. And so shout out to the Facebook Live Deep Meditative Breathing that we did the other day. I've been breathing with every single call, with every single video, and it makes a difference. My sisters last week thought they had the virus. Now they're feeling great.
Right.
Now no temperature, no scratchy throat, no cough. And they're breathing themselves into sanity, into understanding that not everybody has this thing.
That's right.
Okay? And listen, I got to be careful by how I speak because, you know, I don't want nobody following. You know, do what you got to do for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Follow yourself. I trust all my people. Okay?
Right.
I trust you to be looking out for your greatest and most caring, loving interest in yourself.
Right.
So do what you have to do. But, you know, let's always go to the front line technique that works every single time, and that's that deep breathing to get yourself centered and get yourself balanced so you can make the right decisions if you were to go into the hospital or if you're going to go to a doctor's office where we know it is, right? Or we can go to even a drive-through, whatever they have. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I mean, so with regard to today's topic being flattening the curve, we're not talking about what they're talking about on the flattening of the infectious thing. I mean, again, you got to make the right choices for you. And what this does is this says how well you've prepared to do your own critical thinking. That's what this all this does is kind of exposes that. So for folks who for folks who play sports or who have played sports, or people who are musicians or performers, know very well the value of practice and rehearsal. You know very well the value of practice and rehearsal, because when you don't practice or you don't rehearse, when it's time to play, you're not able to play your best because you haven't rehearsed, you haven't practiced, and you don't have the what they call it, like the muscle memory, or it doesn't flow right, or what have you. And this really is no different. So when we're talking about flattening the curve, we're talking about flattening the learning curve that has come with this whole rona mess and the confinement and the stay at home and all of that. We're talking about the learning curve because, and also I want to shout out to Mama Fiyah, you were talking about the sisters. I want to shout out many of the True Love Movement folk, brothers and sisters from present and, you know, from past and present.
That's right.
Shout them all out because they, you know, folk that have been communicating with me are like, man, I am so glad that I have already been doing this work.
Yes.
I am so great, like because they got all these tools and they're not freaking out, and they are for the most part very, very cool. Like they're not oblivious, but they are very rational in their thinking right now. Because I'm asking questions like, so what are you going to do if you get it? What are you going to do? Like specifically, let's walk through what you're going to do if you get it. And how are you preparing your family and your loved ones and people who depend on you for if you get it? And like we're talking about, we're having those kinds of conversations, and they're able to have those kinds of daunting conversations in a very rational and composed and logical way, because they got tools. They understand. We've been doing a lot of work on this. I even ran into some little brothers, man, that grew up while I was out getting supplies with their mama, and look at my man. With their mama, yeah. With their mama and their parents out while getting supplies, and they say, Brother Shaq, you've been rapping with us about this.
You've been talking about this
for
a long
forever.
time.
When I was like in 5th grade and all that other stuff. So it's kind of good to hear that and see that it really stuck, because you don't always know how this is landing with folk.
How effective.
You said for a long time that we were radical. I disagree, but you said we were radical,
I think so.
and I think you're right. I know I was joking, but I didn't think much about. I didn't have the intent on being radical. I just know we see things a particular way, and we see them pretty clear, and we go with what we're able to see, the breadth of the vision.
Yeah, and I think what True Love Movement does that's very unique is that you have your rational mind, and then you have your feelings.
Right.
The people who feel, and we both representing that. I've been really moving through how I feel, and I mean physically, but also like intuitively, and what the vibe is. And I'm not really talking to my sisters about if you get this, then such and such. So I'm talking about, what do you know?
Right.
How do you know to keep yourself well in the midst of something that maybe you didn't think was coming? Because listen, New Orleans and the nation really hasn't been through anything quote unquote like this. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's been all warfare. It's been all warfare for us.
Right. Nothing
specifically to this. And what I've learned, what I've seen, is that they're being really like specific about some things and very vague about others, right? Like, we don't know if this thing is airborne, and we don't know how long it lasts on services, and we don't know, because they can say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying what they're saying isn't quote unquote true. I'm just saying that we need to realize who the messenger is, right? Brother Shaq and I have been talking about this for years and years and years on just me and him, on building, but also on a True Love Movement Hour and on WBOK.
Oh yeah.
We've been talking about survival this whole time. We've been talking about nothing but survival. And if y'all remember back in the day for that Eric Garner thing, I did a whole piece on black survival.
Yeah, I got it.
A whole piece, and I need to put that up.
Right, I know.
Like, we've been talking about this. We've been talking about getting your mind right and doing the right thing by yourself, for yourself. And that includes wellness. Right. That includes wellness. And so, I have this healing home here, and there's going to be more information on that. There's a lot going on. But in my healing home, we have meetings. Because in this home, we decide we're going to eat a certain way. We decide we're going to speak a certain way. We're going to sleep a certain way. We're going to take care of ourselves in the midst of this home together. I'm not in charge of nobody. We're doing this together because we realize we're stronger together. And this is when we have our meetings, I say stuff, you are well. Right. You well, you're not sick.
Right.
You're not sick because of the ways you have chosen to eat and what you drink and how you move your body and how you breathe. You are well. Let's not forget about all what you've learned and the way you've been living your life.
That's
right? So for my people, for my true ambassadors, for my True Love Movement brothers and sisters, you already been doing this.
Yep.
To be able to survive something like this.
That's right. And so, looking at how folks have already taken responsibility, I want to shout them out again too for that, because they're able to provide stability where they are in different places throughout the community. The folk who have been doing the work, and not just folk that are connected directly with True Love Movement, but other folk who've been influenced, and people who are working, who have been doing the their personal growth and development work, and self-love work, the real kind. They're the rational, stable, sane, reasonable people in the midst of a lot of this chaos that many people are relying on, and they're able to be an anchor in many places. And so we're grateful for that as they're spread out, throughout the city and the country in a time so crucial as this. Because as I was saying, it's very difficult for people who have not been doing this kind of work to begin doing this kind of work right now under these really high pressure and dire circumstances. It's not that it's impossible, but it's difficult in terms of, because so many things have to change. I mean, so many things have to change. They have to change.
The first thing being your mind.
And it has immediately, and it has to change in a way that doesn't give you, that's what we're talking about, that's the curve. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can gradually eat differently, gradually think differently, gradually, behave and speak differently. When you have that kind of time without pressure, it seems a lot more doable and a lot more comfortable. But being in a situation where you may feel like you've been thrusted, that's hard. And I'm acknowledging that.
No, it's hard.
I'm acknowledging that for our people.
This whole thing is hard. Like this is not easy stuff, but what have we been through that's easy?
Right.
As a people, what have we been through that's easy? It's hard because, all that time we were talking about white supremacy, racism, patriarchy crumbling.
Oh yeah.
And this is what it looks like.
This is it.
I was telling my sister the other day, when you think about something so huge to us, and not only in this nation but in this world, crumbling down, we're gonna feel it. Right. We're gonna feel it. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared to the point where you crumble with it. Right. And we've been saying that verbatim over and over and over again. We've been saying, get your mind right.
Yep.
Survival. Survival of the fittest. We got a whole show about survival of the fittest. We got shows about
all of this. We don't say, of course, rona or anything. We have shows that specifically deal with everything that people are encountering, our people are encountering right now in this moment.
The crumble.
Yep.
This is what we're experiencing, y'all. Have y'all seen all them CEOs and all of that? What they doing? They dropping down, stepping down, and all these different things. This is what the crumble looks like.
Right.
And how can you stay upright and aligned as it crumbles?
If that is your desire, too, Mama Fiyah, that's the other part of it.
It's true.
If that is your desire, we've always understood that, not everyone looks at things and sees it the same way. And what you're going to find that out now. Many people who you thought were with you, or you thought you were with them, you're seeing that maybe philosophically y'all are in different places, and that's fine. I mean, that's fine. It's unfortunate that you discovered something like that at a crucial time, but then again, it just points to how well we don't know ourselves, and also the people who are closest to us. We don't really have those. We hadn't always developed those authentic relationships. You know what I'm saying? And so now when you really need to have something like that, there's that curve again. You really need to have it. You need to have it in place. It's very difficult to do because people don't trust each other. They don't really know what's going to happen to them. They don't really know what other people are going to do if it gets a certain way. So what that does is that adds to the stress level. It adds to the uncertainty. And, of course, it lowers your immune system, which is something you really, really need to be shoring up right now.
You need it right now. And you know what, Brother Sheikh? I'm glad you brought up relationships and that kind of thing. And I just want to spend just a tiny bit of time on this opportunity. The opportunity we have to stay home. The opportunity we have to reconnect to ourselves. Yep. And the opportunity we have to reconnect to our loved ones that are in the household with us. What I hear a lot of times is I'm seeing my people. I hear that people are estranged and they're living in the same household.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Families are estranged. Wife and husband and one of the children, this person, that person. You have an opportunity now to squash all that shit.
That's right.
Squash it. Sit down and talk about that shit and move it out the way, so that when we gotta fight, we on the same page.
That's right.
That we ain't fighting each other. That we fighting what we need to fight. You know? Listen, this is an opportunity. There are all kind of opportunities.
Lots
in this.
of opportunities.
Take care of yourself. Get your household together. There should be no enemies in your household.
That's right.
No enemies in your household. Then figure out what you can get paid for and do over the phone or do over a video. What could you do?
That's right.
Can you put your Cash App out there and see what people will pay for, what people need?
That's right.
Right now, where you can still be in the comfort of your safe and sacred home and be able to make some money.
Oh yeah.
Relationships. This is about relationships.
Always.
This whole thing, Brother Tech, you've been saying it.
Always.
That this is about relationships. So I just want to take a little bit of time and talk about the opportunity that's in this time.
That's right.
You know, and we all know, everybody on this live, as well as when you share it, people who it goes to already know how to be well.
That's right.
You have not done what you needed to do.
That's right.
If you scared, you have not done what you needed to do. And I'm not trying to say we can't be scared. This is very fearful and those things. But I'm just saying, you've been eating fast food. You've been eating the wrong things. You ain't been working your body out. You ain't been sweating. You ain't been looking in the mirror. You ain't been writing no journals. You know what to do.
That's right.
And so now is the time to do those things. And it's beyond time. It's beyond time. Because your immune system is dependent on how you have been. But now you know what to do. You know the herbs to take.
Yep.
You know the teas to drink. Shout out to my tea. This is a big old tea, right?
Right.
And I
I
got traditional medicinals up in here.
Yeah.
I got my green tea up in here because green tea is good for antioxidants and antimicrobials. I have lemon, 2 whole lemons. 2 whole lemons is in this here. I have raw honey. I have cayenne pepper. I have garlic. And I have ginger.
Right.
We know what to do. Drink it all day.
But you didn't just
all
start
day
drinking
long.
that.
I did not just start drinking.
How long you been drinking?
Well, I've been drinking tea every day for many, many years.
Right.
Just because of, mucus and all those type of things. I got to make sure to move warm liquids through me with lemon.
That's right.
And I look back at old pictures of me before I decided to put a whole lemon in my tea. I look back at pictures of me. My skin was different. My weight was different. So the lemons are the key. It really, 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 really helps. And have as many of them as you can stand. Right now, as you look on my porch, many of these plants right now are lemon trees. Lemon and key limes. So it's like, we know what to do. We know what to do. Be drinking water all day long. All day. Eating. What are we eating? Right now, Brother Jack, are you fasting?
Oh yeah, I'm still juicing. I'm still juicing from December.
I'm fasting.
I've been juicing since December. I ain't changed
Brother
nothing.
Jack, he a true G.
You know that. I ain't
Real
changed
warrior.
nothing.
I can't say I've been juicing since then.
Right.
But I have a whole household of people that fast on and off.
Yeah.
Fast. If you got a little tickle in your throat, fast.
Fast.
Do not eat anything. Drink warm water with lemon, honey lemon, and whatever else you know is good for your body, and don't eat anything.
Right.
See if you can recalibrate your body to fight, because when we're eating, our body's working.
Gotta work, yeah.
Right? It's working to digest it. When we're
Lot of
not
energy.
eating, your body can fight off things.
That's right.
Even the allergies, even when we feel, you think, oh, there's nothing that you can do about that. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Drink plenty of like this cinnamon water, this cucumber water, this. And you say, well, the stores don't have everything. It's true. But if you're a true soul, you look in them cabinets, you gonna find what you need. Them old grandma remedies.
Yeah.
Them old grandmother remedies. Codfish oil, fish oil.
Yep.
All those things that grandma did to make sure we didn't get sick. Use them.
Right.
And when you're hungry, don't go to Popeyes, yo. When you're hungry, don't go to fast food because that's the only thing open. Don't just, you know, your immune system is lowered every time you eat processed foods.
Right.
Every time you eat fried foods, it has to work that much harder to clean your liver, clean your kidneys, make sure your body is clean. You know, and I understand. Listen, we don't know how long this is gonna last.
Right.
We don't know. And so save your food for later.
Say yeah, if you got to choose.
If you gotta choose, save your food, stock it up, use your food for later, fast, intermittently fast.
Yeah.
Eat once a day.
Well, so, see, that's what we're saying, that it's difficult if you've not been doing that kind of a thing, you know, even if it is intermittently. When I say intermittently, I mean like every few months or every whatever. Even if you've just not been acquainted with that, if you don't have a relationship to fasting, there's going to be
think of fasting and be like, Lord, no, I can't do that.
Can't do it, and then the pressure's on, and you got somebody telling you that that's going to help improve your quality of life. That brings up some anxiety because you don't have the confidence that you can actually do it because you've not rehearsed that part. That's what I'm saying. Like this is the curve we're talking about, flattening that learning curve. That it is a lot to try to make these shifts under these circumstances. So I'm definitely acknowledging that as we're saying what we're saying before. And to go back to relationship now, you know, this is and since we're in the rona, we're in the rona now. So you know, before we were very, very careful because at least I know I was as careful as I could be because it was, and I think we were collectively because we would say things, or we could say things that we would talk about off air or whatever, that would really sound shocking to people who didn't have context for it. And it would seem like it's so far-fetched. But I'm gonna say now, you know, in the Rona that, you know, who knows how long this thing is going to last. But in terms of the relationship, what I see this as? I'm looking at this whole thing, Mama Fiyah, as a ritual. This entire
that was one of the last
Rona,
shows we did.
We sure did. We talked about
Brother Shay.
rituals and how things get done. This whole thing is a ritual because if you look at the way that this is impacting everyone on whatever level they're on, so it has shifted the collective consciousness of the entire planet. So it is taking, everybody is plugged in some kind of form to the Rona. They're ducking it, they got it, they're trying to get over it, they're trying to get somebody to come back from it, they're grieving the loss of someone, it has affected the ability to earn income, they have lost jobs, lost income, you're uncertain about your future. Just in the material consumer world, you're uncertain about your physical health and being here. And everybody on the planet on some level is plugged into that. That is a ritual.
Go ahead.
See, that's a ritual. That's how consciousness gets shifted. And so because yet again, someone else outside of you, and I'm talking you on a very individual level, has made this decision. This is how we are swept into rituals, because see, somebody else decided for you that you've got limitations on things. Somebody else decided for you that your movement is limited. So you didn't make this conscious choice. So you also have to battle in the midst of being swept up by the momentum and current of this ritual, the resistance in it, because somebody else is choosing. So when we look at relationships and we look at, again, from a ritualistic standpoint, this is also causing you to look squarely at you. Because I'll be very transparent and say there are many of us here in the community who have been training for scenarios for many, many years. And all of that training is great right now. I'm glad that we did that, and I'm glad we did it as a collective. However, what this particular Rona situation showed us and flipped the whole reality is, this is really going to be about you, because you're the one that's got to take care of you, because you don't have, now because of the health concerns, you don't have the connectivity of the community. You don't have you don't have, you know how I used to say for many years that there's some people who are not really about the community, but they just come out because they want to hide in the community and what the community is doing, so that when the community benefits, they can benefit without being a contributor. You know how we talk about everybody's a spoken wheel, right? How long? And to tighten up your spoken, to work on your thing, so that when you're called upon, what are you have your thing that you're able to offer. Because what you all are going to find, if you haven't already encountered it, is that, see, the people you have around you that are strictly consumers, the people who always need, I need this, I need that, I can't do this, those are the people. Now there's going to be a little tension because they're not able to contribute to any kind of mutual benefit. So then they're going to become burdensome. This is an inevitability.
You've been talking about that for a
I've
minute.
been talking about that for many, many, many years, publicly. And it's not that it's some divine thing that only I know. Many people know that. But what we had before was an opportunity to develop some kind of way that we could make contributions to the greater whole. Now again, many people want to kick back and let other people work this shit out and solve the greater problems, and they just kind of benefit from being around. But see, now we don't have that communal thing. And that's also another interesting thing. I know there's a lot of folk that haven't been very community minded are suddenly very community minded now. A lot of people want to, what y'all doing? We need to get, if the social distancing says no, we can't gather and do all of that. So you got to go for like what you know. And you may be finding out now that what you knew can only serve you for so long and so far. And then now there's a want to have those authentic relationships with people and connections and all that other stuff, because we're in a very limited type of situation with a lot of uncertainty, and those things just aren't there for many people. I mean, that is a fact, and I'm acknowledging that because that's where you're going to start to see folk get desperate, because they don't have that. So they're really finding out that it is just you, the person we've been saying to develop a very solid relationship with, to really get to know the truth about you and who you are in this world, and what your purpose is, and how you contribute to the whole, and how different is the planet going to be when you leave it. That's the stuff, how we've been talking about that for many years, right?
Brother Shag, you've been talking
many years. Go ahead.
Yeah, rising power to Dr. Laila Africa.
Dr. Africa, that's right.
Also, and you should have one of his books somewhere in your, in your realm of understanding. And if not, you can download some of those things.
Because you got time.
Right, there's plenty of time to read and make sure what you're reading is about survival.
Right.
Survival. There's no other option for us. It's up to you. Whatever your options are. Like I said, I've learned to love and trust my people and trust my people's process.
That's right.
And we've already said that, the aligned mind, body, spirit, wellness thing will have you surviving.
That's right.
And if you choose not to, then maybe not so much.
That's right.
And so, this whole thing is about survival in your mind first. First and foremost, are you going to survive this?
That's right.
Oh, yes. Not I think so or I believe so. You must know. You must know.
You needn't go any further than the grocery stores to understand the social distancing that was a norm long before this rona. The individualism wrapped in fear that people always had. That's how come folk go into the store loading up and buying all this stuff, because they say I got to make it. So they don't have a communal spirit about that. So this is all they have. You see how what, again, something like this. And for people who have heard, how many of y'all who are watching have heard that difficulty and adversity breeds character or builds character? If y'all heard that, because I know I've heard that. I heard that coming up.
Black people got all the character in the world.
Well, yeah, but as I got older, what I realized is that was an ill-informed statement. That it was not accurate.
Yeah.
Because adversity does not build character, it reveals it. See, that's the thing. When it's like this, you find out the truth of who you are.
That's right.
And other people do too.
That's how all of this crumbles down, is when you
Yeah.
know who you are. That's how it crumbles. And so as we rise, and I want you to finish, but
Yeah.
whew, as we rise, this shit is crumbling.
That's right.
And we let it crumble, and we do not crumble along with it.
That's right. And so again, this is a very personal, individual thing that we're talking about. And I know that there's a current out there now that wants to talk about us. We want to talk about the community, like what we gonna do. And what we will ultimately do is we are a collection or a collective of individuals. We always have been. It's just that now people, and I'm looking, shout out to everybody who has joined us, and people got, like Mama Charlita saying, buku tension. I would expect by now you all are feeling a lot of tension with people close to you, especially being cooped up in that house. You're experiencing tension and a lot of hurt feelings because the people you thought might have been there for you, and I ain't just talking about people, I mean entities like your job or like your government or like all these things that really you've put a lot of trust in, not trusting you, but putting it in things outside of you. Now look at you. There's just you, like the song, like the Jill Scott song. There's just you,
baby, because it is.
It's always been just you. That's the kicker. It's never been all of that. That was all part of the bluff and the facade. That's how come you see things not working in systems. You see systems not working. You see the healthcare system with the potential of being overwhelmed. See, all of this stuff was always a facade. It was never the almighty divine that could do all and see all and be all. It was never that. Now you're seeing it, but it was never that. Now you're just coming into the knowledge or the vision of it, and it feel messed up. We all feel played because we thought something like this could not happen. We thought a lot of the stuff we were talking about was crazy. We thought that was complete foolishness, and I didn't need that because y'all always, somebody said that to me back in the day, not recently. Y'all always deep, and y'all be talking about heavy stuff, and y'all never be talking about like what's happening right now. And I said, because we're not a reactionary kind of show, because we're not reactionary people. Because if you're reactionary, it's too late. If you are only reactionary, it is too late. This is what we were saying. And it's not a whole lot of, I'm not doing this to say, I told you so I told you, because I did not tell you this would happen. I'm not a prophet to be able to say or see that. But I did understand long ago that
we are at war.
We've been at war, yeah. And whatever we're talking about in terms of a large system type response, if you think about it, and I know now we all have time, if you'll think about it, when you think about the history of how this nation came to be, and you fast forward that until today, how can any of this be shocking? How can any of this be shocking about what's happening now? When you look at the lineage, of the White House, you can trace it right to the plantation.
Come on, Brother Shay.
This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a direct line.
They got the history, and the history proves it.
So why could we ever think that something could be different? I mean, this only exists because of what the history has been. And now in a very ritualistic way, we're all getting a chance to see it externally, but also see how we've internalized it and some of the challenges that it's causing us in this very moment.
Yes. And Brother Shaq and I always want to speak very freely and openly about stuff, but in this case, we're saying the things that we've already said, but there's much to say. There's much to say, there's much to research and say.
And there's still much not to say. I don't want you to think that either.
No, there's plenty. We're not saying
Right.
because when we get in the process of getting our minds right, we can see in black and white what's happening here,
That's right.
and we can see, you know, with the New Orleans rates being so high, and,
Oh yeah.
and then like I had to run out to get something very, very important, and so when I was driving back, I passed City Park on Wisner, and the City Park was packed with people. Packed.
Which, you
I
know,
mean,
City Park used to be a plantation.
Come on, yes,
Did
it
y'all know
was.
City Park was a plantation?
And
Go ahead,
listen, I'm not talking about our people neither.
Right.
Packed with children and all kind of people. And we know New Orleans is party central, right? New Orleans is all about community and all gatherings and all these type of stuff, and people act like they can't do it. This is not about listening to the rules of the government saying you mandated to stay at home. This is saying your home is your safety.
That's right.
Your home is your secure place, right? Because we know we've been doing this work, and
That's
we know
right.
we don't be thinking forward and thinking about survival. So
Right.
your home is where your security is. Just
That's
stay
right.
home.
That's
Have
right.
one designated person that goes out and gets such and such in a certain area and come right back. Because, you know, and I'm not saying you're a prisoner in your own home and, man, screw that. I can da-da-da-da. Listen, it's not so much about getting sick.
Right.
It's not so much about getting sick. It's about the whole ritual that Brother Shaq is talking about.
That's right.
Oh, we're going to say that y'all should stay at home. Then we're going to mandate that y'all should stay at home with these few little things. Then what's the next step?
Yeah, we got to look at that.
What's the next step? I live, you know,
So, yeah.
tanks up and down the street. Not tanks, but big, huge,
Humvees or something.
no, they like these big trucks, and they covered. They covered with the like desert sand camouflage.
Oh, yeah,
Going
yeah.
up and down the street. Heavy. It's going up and down my street on a regular basis. So listen. Read between the lines, my people, and understand that this is a government intervention
Yeah.
at this point. When they talk pandemic, they talking government, and then New Orleans is at the
Off
highest
the meter.
rate,
We
right?
always off the meter.
Be careful. Think about what needs to happen and what you need to make sure you have ready and your plan. We should be strategizing and planning. No, we should have been, right?
Right.
But now
right,
that
right.
we know, and they're being very, very vague about stuff. So now that we know, strategize and plan. Plan now.
And I also, you know, you that was good insight and a good strategy, like you were saying, have one person go out. But I need to rep for the single folk who live alone. I want to not leave out single people
Yeah.
who live alone. And so, as a single person living alone, think about the folk who may be in close proximity to you, and if people again that you may have relationships with, that you can organize with, and kind of strategize your trips to make less trips to engage or interact with fewer people. And that means that you may, you know, be the, again, see how that requires you to have relationships with people. That requires there to be trust. That requires you to have a sense of duty and obligation and allegiance to your own people already. Because you see, that's because now it really, really matters. And you know, again, everybody's affected by this, and everybody could potentially get this. And so, you know, you have to really think strategically. So when you make these runs, be very clear about what you're going to get. Get as much as you can that your pocket can afford. Because look, Mama Fiyah, we're talking about this in a real casual way. But as this continues, family, y'all know folks gonna run out of resources, right? Right? You do know that, right? That many folk are looking at their resources that they're putting out, and they may not have fractions of that coming back in. So we're still, many of us are, and some people are already there, but many people are still comfortable enough to be able to have this kind of conversation and think about it from a standpoint of having access to some more resources. As the resource ability to go get these things diminishes, That's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level.
That's right. That's a whole nother level. And that's why we got to get our minds right in our household right now. That's why it's important to deal with whatever estrangements are happening, have a real talk conversation, sit at the table and have a family meeting.
Yep.
Get everybody on board, get everybody's minds right. Okay? And Brother Shag, no, he a single man, but at the end of the day, if one person is moving in this house and I need to drop off some things, and see, that's what you're saying about relationships. But
right.
There's a very important older couple, my children's grandparents, who always love and honor me, and whatever I need, I got from them. And so I've been contacting them and say, what do you need?
That's right.
I'm not going to come in your house at all, but I will drop off what you need. You got wipes to me, because in their minds, you know, they own, you know what I'm saying? And so I can do that. I can drop those things off at this present time. You know what I'm saying? Things will have to shift.
Because we got this is one day at a time.
One day at a time, because there's more and more information and things will have to shift.
That's right.
As time moves on. So have your plan in order, you know, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, plan A, plan B, plan C.
Right.
On what we going to do, how you going to survive right there in your house.
Right. Be very, very clear about that. I want to restate that because I know that this is something that's, you know, documented in the video. What the situation is today, may be very different tomorrow. It may be different by the end of the day. I'm not saying this to spark any kind of panic. All I'm saying is to, again, is someone who looks at history. If you look at very recent history, it was 2 weeks ago, we wasn't talking about none of this. 2 weeks ago, everybody was just doing what they normally do. 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
And it did not look like this. So I'm using that to say how fast things can change, situations can change, and look at your ability, because your capacity to respond today may not be your capacity to respond in 3 days or in 2 days.
That's right.
And it's a realistic possibility. So don't think that you got a whole lot of time. You might have some time, but you don't know how long you got.
That's right. And I want to say, my sister Thea, hey, my sister Thea.
Right on, Thea.
She said this single person has joined a family. And then she says some other things. This is a part of it. And she's right. We are stronger together. If it's a possibility to come together and pool our resources together in one space, let's do that. That makes a lot of sense to me. And I mean all resources, all that we need.
Right.
And make sure you're bringing something. Right?
Well, yeah, you gotta have something.
Yourself, and you're bringing your strategy, and you're bringing A, B, and C to the table to make sure that we are stronger together. But it's funny. I called my children's father, and I was like, okay, I'm coming. I'm bringing this and that, and I'm gonna just stay with you, okay? He said no. He told me no. Okay.
Right.
Cool. Yeah. You saying no? I had to put it out there. Because I'm very much needed where I am. I'm going to assist. I was going to assist. But his no meant he got it. He got it. I trust him. I trust that he got it. I trust these things. They've been on quarantine for weeks now.
Right.
You know, they got it. And because I wanted to add where I feel like I was most needed. And the universe told me you most needed here.
That's right.
That I'm most needed here. You know, hunkering down and made our strategy. We sat at the table.
That's right.
And we made a plan for this, for that, for the other. For now, for later, and later on. You know what I'm saying? Because we do not know. But yes, if there is a household that y'all got the same mind, right? Don't go into a household where you know you're going to end up being the enemy or something. Or you're not safe or anything like that. And go to where y'all know y'all on the same vibe and the same philosophy. And you can be stronger.
That's right. Yeah, because this is not to say, again, for my single people, this is not to say as a single person, you can't do this or you can't weather this. I think if nothing else, for single people, this is an opportunity to really make sure you yourself are solid and be cultivating that, because again, as situations change, from day to day, or moment to moment rather, if as a single person you decide to, or you're invited to, or you decide, or you think mutually that this is a better move, you still gotta go where you can add to what's happening. You can't go nowhere because nobody don't want you if all you coming over there is with an appetite, a lot of stress, a lot of insecurities, and a lot of problems, and they don't know if you bringing that rona with you.
Come on now.
So that's the other thing. So this again is an opportunity for single and singular people who live alone to really reflect on being solid and being a survivor and know that you can. And on the flip side of that, make the decision that if you do get jammed up too bad on your own, that you don't bring that nowhere else to other people. Because see, that's the other part. That again would be irresponsible for people to do that.
Don't come to my door unless you invite him.
That would be very irresponsible.
Don't do it.
And you know, it's like, ooh, that sound like a hard thing. But see, if you have been working and conditioning yourselves to make very difficult decisions, you can make them now under duress because you have to. You have to make these kinds of decisions. And again, it would be irresponsible to lay on anybody's leg right now. And you know, I'm just saying, it would be very irresponsible. And we've also talked about for many years people developing these things because the folk that I've been in communication with, people have been wearing everybody out. A handful of people been getting wore out with the phone, the text, the Facebook Messenger, the message in the bottle, the pigeon, anything. Say, bruh, when what to do? Not call now.
Too late.
Not now.
It's too late.
Not
to
now.
decide to ask somebody else what to do.
And
you already know.
And it's disrespectful to the people because they did the work, they did the research, and I'm saying this because everyone who I know that I've been in communication with has been offering the community for many years.
You were right.
These teachings and trainings about how to survive, how to do this, how to eat, how to exercise, how to work out, how to get your mind together. Like, people have been doing this for a very long time, and so people who ain't engaged now suddenly, you know, Fiyah said that she was saying that she was in the car and some brother she didn't know asked her could he cut her lawn? Did she need her lawn cut? Well, look, I don't know what Buddy was up to, but she ain't about to find out now. And he might have really been trying to be a good dude, trying to make $1, but he hadn't established no relationship before it got like this. And so it's like, you have to really be real about this. And so, family, that's what we're saying. We're not pretending that that's not real, and we're not telling you that the entities and forces outside of you are going to make everything okay.
That's right.
We're not going to lie to you and say they're going to make it okay.
And what we've been saying this whole time, do for self, right?
Right.
We've been saying we have all we need. We got all we need. We've been saying, you know, nobody is coming to save you.
I heard you say that.
We've been saying all this time. And, you know, I think it becomes, I don't know what it becomes. But at the end of the day, this is crunch time.
Yeah.
This is crunch time. Right now, what you know? What do you know?
What do you know? And then what are you able to do individually? Because again, this has brought us to personal and individual reflection. You know, from a ritualistic standpoint, because I mean, you know, again, we're thinking about disasters like Hurricane Katrina. We're thinking about how you can organize with people and come together, and that's how we're envisioning. Yeah, we're envisioning unity.
Yes.
But you've been teaching for many years about the unit.
Get the unit together.
See?
Get the unit, and when you come together, I think about this healing home, and I think about, you know, everybody here has got something to give, whether it be something that they learned, agriculture, or anything. And one of the sisters says, we don't have to cut our grass no more right now because there are dandelions and there are clovers and there are all kind of things that need to grow freely that we can eat if we need to.
That's right.
Like, Survival.
That's right. And also too, and we got Thea and the brother Carl are saying, have they ever come to save us? Like, I want to talk about us.
Oh my goodness. Talk about us, and I'll talk about when they come to save you.
Yeah, when they're coming to save.
Go ahead.
So the us part of it. For many years, in very gentle ways, and I've talked about this definitely off air, but people who know me know I talk about that all the time. That when black people say things like our country, our this, our laws, our
president, our government,
when they
our healthcare system.
When they said things like that, it always gave me pause, because even our team, all of those things were like, that's not ours. I always, and it's not that I'm running up on people saying that ain't ours, but it always gave me pause. But I understood how they had internalized that, they were in fact a part of something. And again, when you look at the history, that's why it's so important. Not intellectually, it's just that I can't connect with our. Like, I don't have no expectation for nobody to come save me. Why would these people come save me? The only reason that they would come do anything for me is because they stand to gain something. They stand to benefit from me in some kind of a way. But other than that, we've never had do y'all understand that, black folk? We ain't never had no relationship with anyone, any other people in this nation that wasn't about us improving their quality of life. That wasn't about us helping them. It has never been a mutual, it's always been an abusive relation. An abusive relationship is only when one entity is accountable. There's never been any mutual accountability between the collective of black folks and the so-called majority population, white population in America. That's never existed in the history of America. And because that's never existed in the history of America, why would I think somebody was coming for me to save me? If they coming, it ain't to save me.
Oh my goodness.
That's for absolute sure. So go ahead. I know you wanted to say. I just wanted to clarify that whole us and our and the we.
Well, the one thing I do say is our people. And I don't have to say that.
Right.
I don't have to say that. But I do believe that.
Right.
I do believe that I am part of our people.
Absolutely.
Indigenous, melanated, descendants from the original man and woman. So I do include myself in the our.
Yeah, that our.
Right, and we don't have to.
Right. That's
we don't have to. But we do. And so if they were to show up at your door and come and save you.
Yes.
Personally, I'm not going.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going. I'm standing my ground. This is my house. We'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
And we got to be careful, because that's one scenario that could possibly happen. We're not saying that that's what's going to happen, but it's a possibility, right?
And we've been wrong about everything else. So far, right?
I know to be wrong about this. But see this here quarantine? See this here quarantine? And then they're talking about people can't do it in New Orleans? And then they're saying, okay, well, maybe we'll have somebody walking up and down and making sure. And then what happens when all of a sudden the curve go real high, right? And they say for everybody's safety, we need you here. I'm not going.
Oh yeah. So again, that comes down to personal choices, and that's again, this is the time as an individual person who's social distancing and staying away from other people, that you've got this opportunity to reflect on where you really are with that, and what kind of critical thinking skills you got, and how what
you need to survive.
What you need to survive.
If you don't go,
how you able to discern, and because there's a lot of things that are at play. Again, because of the curve, we're not going to be able to flatten that curve on this broadcast. no matter how long we were on, because we don't have to really be on that long. People usually don't watch that long anyway. It's just how it's interesting now. Everybody got time, so folk are looking at stuff now, and they're looking back at old True Love Movement videos. And
that's
good.
Like,
what were you saying? What you don't remember? Like yeah.
We should do like a little. I think we should do. This is an aside, but I think we should do like a little packet, a little put together. Watch these three shows. Definitely Survival of the Fittest.
Right.
Blacks and maybe I don't know. We'll come up with something, but I think that'd be so cool.
There's lots of them if you got time and you wanna look, because someone asked me, I said, man, you ain't really been saying much. I said, I already been talking.
It's on there.
I done said it.
We done shared it. It's on there.
I will be very real and say I haven't had one new epiphany since this happened. I haven't had that experience, so I can't misrepresent myself, misrepresent True Love Movement of this and saying, let me tell you what you need to do. I don't have that kind of energy.
And shout out to the survivalists.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I had began like maybe early last year, had begun posting things about when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Right? Just because I had learned the acronym and I was like using it or whatever.
Right.
They came got me on Facebook. They was like, here boo, come in this group.
Right.
And don't be saying that stuff on Facebook.
That's
okay?
right.
So shout out to my survivalists who are ready.
Right.
They ready for something like this. No, they did not know that it was going to be specific to this. And some of them conspiracy theorists already knew. But
so much for the theory.
I'm just saying, like, shout out to the survivalists who've been doing the work.
Right.
Who've been doing the work already. You know, and we're not going to survive off of fear.
No.
Although we're going to use our minds very cautiously, right?
Yeah.
We're not stupid, y'all. we're not conspiracy theorists. Not at all. We survivalists. It's who we are, and we know. Sometimes it get a lot worse before it get better.
Yeah, and again, I would wonder or be concerned too with folk who may want things to go back to normal. Because this is giving you an opportunity to look at normal.
Oh, they talking that new normal stuff. New normal, not everybody talking. Be careful of the propaganda, family. Like they say new normal, and then it spreads around, not everybody's using the term new normal. Be careful to really discern what's being said to us. And before you fix your mouth to say it, give it a process.
Right.
Ask why. Why are they using those type of words? Why are they saying these things right now? Why are they not saying this? And why are they? We got to discern.
And what's the ritual about? You know, because this is a ritual. So inside of a ritual, for my people who are familiar with rituals, there are very specific things that are said in a ritual. There's very specific things that are done. Rituals are done on, there's locations. I mean, there's no detail or no thing that's too small to pay attention to in the course of a ritual. Because everything is there for a very particular reason. It could have been anything, but it ends up being that. So if you're thinking about this in the course, in the context of a ritual, because it ain't your ritual, you happen to be a part of it. Like when you're talking these things about new language and the new normal and the linguistics, how these things get put into place where, like that's why I selected the idea of saying flattening the curve, because there's an energy now around flattening the curve and it has a particular context. So have the skill of taking what's already there energetically, and again being able to use it in a way that's beneficial to you and yours, that doesn't get you swept up into whatever the ritual is trying to do. Because you strengthen that ritual by being an unconscious participant. Whatever ritual that you're in, for it to have maximum power for you, you need to be a very conscious participant. So if you're a conscious participant, you can recognize something may be amiss if you're a conscious participant. But if you're an unconscious participant and you're just going with whatever the entities are who have actually constructed and are carrying out the ritual, then you're simply strengthening the gathered power of that ritual. And the folk who look to you or connected to you or lean to you will also buy in because you're doing it. So you know, that's an aside. Everybody won't even catch what I just said. So that's cool. That's possibilities there.
Yes. You know, I just want to thank you, Brother Shaq, and, you know, for always being the rational, calm-minded, logical thinking-minded person, because you need one of those people on your team.
Right.
You need one of those people. Listen, that's not me.
Right.
That's not me on my team. I'm able to do it, but I'd much rather feel it.
Yes.
And let me say how I'm feeling right now. I've been at my house. I've been at home. You know, I may go out for a couple of incidentals or something like that, but pretty much I'm at the house. So that's what I'm feeling. That's what my spirit is calling for. And doing some development here.
Oh yeah.
Developing here. You know, taking my time and supporting my little sisters and keeping everybody calm. You know, breathing. Family. This is a respiratory type of thing. Breathe.
That's it. Yep.
Breathe. All day, every day, breathe. You have time to lay down, and I'm not talking about no namaste mumbo jumbo either. It can be that way. You can do some yoga. And shout out to my little sister, been doing yoga every day. Yep. You know what I'm saying? You can do some yoga because that shit calms your mind too.
Right.
But I'm talking about breathe deeply into your diaphragm and filling up your diaphragm in your lungs.
Right.
And, you know, holding that breath. You know, holding the breath is important.
Right.
Baba Zach taught us about the healing of holding the breath and then releasing whatever's in there, right? That you don't want to be in there. Waste.
Down.
When you exhale, that's waste. Carbon dioxide, other things coming out of your body, but also fear.
Yep.
Also anxiety, stress, scared, you know, feeling scared, you know, hatred,
yep,
pain,
yep,
dis-ease. All of those things can be released with our breath. I'm not saying that this is the cure to the, you know, what we're talking about here. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying this gonna keep your mind sharp and together, you know, in these times. I cannot stress it even more so. And shout out to Soul Medicine Women. This is a tribe of sisters that I roll with this is a tribe of sisters that I roll with. Elder sisters that allow me to come into their fold. And so I will be putting some links up for meditations for survival.
That's right.
And so, you know, they got a little young whippersnapper who like 45 on their team, and this is what I'm bringing to the table. So as I post them, please enjoy those meditations for our survival.
And to balance, you know, it's balancing what you said. Like I'm the logical part of that brain, and you're the right brain representative. But we both do both, because I feel a whole lot on this too, and so I want to share on the feeling, and I want to talk a little bit in metaphysics again, since this is a different kind of a new normal, right? You just said, and everybody who's aware that this rona is a respiratory disease, right?
Breathe.
It's a respiratory disease, but that gives us a beautiful opportunity for examination on a metaphysical level. And here's why. Because the respiratory
Come on, Brother Shay.
system, it is a system. Well, when you look at the word respiratory, what's in that word? I see spirit. And the story is the location. In spirit. And when you think about the spirit and how the spirit is connected to the breath, that is where you're alive. So this particular disease is a real killer of the respiratory system. So what I'm saying is that this rona is intended on a metaphysical level to kill your spirit.
Uh-oh.
Or it is definitely there so that you can deal with your spirit. you know, as you talk all about, you know, we talk about inspiration. Inspiration would mean what? In the spirit of. So you see how even on a very mundane and metaphysical level, this attack on the respiratory system happens because people don't understand. People know more about the government system. You know how people have an infatuation with the political system. Imagine if the people who were enthralled in the mechanics of the political system understood the respiratory system. Imagine what that could do for our knowledge and the calmness that we could have understanding the workings of the respiratory system, which is within us, the system.
To be able, and so our political systems are devoid of spirit.
Correct.
And that's the reason why when Brother Sheikh, we do work and we talk about spirit all the time in the work that we do. Absolutely. It takes people so long to even identify their spirit.
Right.
To even identify and understand what it is, because they done taught you it's spooky.
Right.
They done taught you it's a ghost.
Yeah, don't know
or
your
some
spirit.
shit like that. You know, we've been talking about that maybe for the last couple of years. We've been having these shows for the last 6-7 years.
Yeah.
So deliberately in the last couple of years we've been talking about spirit. At first we didn't want to, but we always said wellness was mind, body, spirit alignment. And what I'm realizing this go round is that it's all one thing. When it is well and it's aligned, it's just one thing.
Right.
And there's not a different mind. My mind is telling me this, my body's saying this, and my spirit is saying this. It's one.
Yep.
You know, and so we you know, those spirit is important in survival.
Oh, absolutely.
The spirit is important in survival. What does spirit say, do? What is just when we tap in, we know that our spirit wants the highest good for ourselves.
That's right.
The spirit wants to achieve the highest being, the highest, the most greatest wellness that there is.
That's
so
right.
when we follow it, when we, you know, can hear it and we follow it, we know exactly where to go. We know what to do. And that's the feeler part in me. And that sounds a little, you know, Brother Shaq is talking about metaphysicals. And I know people right now want something tangible. You know, they want something that they can touch and tell me what to do. And so we've given a lot.
I feel that, and that's been done too.
But I mean, even in this time together, we've said things to do.
Yeah.
You know, in this time together, and you know, I'm not sure how more vocal True Love Room is going to be right now.
No.
Listen, I've been putting up a lot of silly things on, you know, I've been putting this and that up on purpose. On purpose. So this may be, you know, the last time. I'm not saying, you know, we know the storm is going to pass over. We know the storm will pass, but we ain't going to be real vocal like this every week and all this other type of stuff. Not at all.
I don't think there's a point.
There's no need.
I think there's no need. I also think that if folk hadn't listened before, there's no reason that they're interested in listening
That's true.
right now. And I don't have any offense with that, because this has never been about that. You know, we also have offered this, the True Love Movement shows and True Love Movement Hour and the YouTube channel to folk if they want to while they're homeschooling.
That's right.
Because we conceived it that way from the jump. That we could do these
political education for the Black nation.
We could do these shows and they could be teaching tools for our people whenever they're timeless and timely on purpose. That's how come we never did the current event shows and what everybody was talking about, because that's not what. That's okay. I mean, there are people who do that, and that's what they're supposed to do. We had a different kind of vision in mind, or possibilities, because we understand that we need more than being able to eat just today. We need to be able to figure out how to grow our own food and have food and be able to sustain ourselves beyond today. So, and I'm using that metaphorically, but I'm also saying that, you know, very, very actually and factually right now too.
That's right.
So you're right. There's not a whole lot to say. I'm not, you know, interested in doing a whole lot of those things, because we got real work to do in talking about doing the work. may be for somebody else. This is not. This is maybe that time for them to do that. And look, we need all of that.
Yes, we do.
But I also want to say that, I talked about that re-spiriting thing because it's the re-meaning, again, going back.
Yeah.
Going back in your spirit, because when your spirit, when your respiratory system ceases to function, you have a physical death. So that's what this rona is, that you have a physical death. And to make it very clear about how, our brother and everyone who has joined us, I do want to get to a lot of these comments and for us to kind of talk about them a little bit. I'm saying about a ritual. Our brother Christopher pointed out, brother One Eye Wise Eye, he pointed out, in this ritual, the people are the sacrifice. In rituals, they're generally a sacrifice, and the people are the sacrifice. Understand that. This is not some conspiracy, metaphysical, hocus pocus kind of thing that Brother Shaq is saying to you. I'm only saying, you just look at what you know, and that you've been able to spend, a lot more concentrated time. And again, the way the universe is set it up, you got the time. You got the time to learn all you need to learn to flatten the learning curve in this particular case, because that's what we're talking about. Flattening the learning curve about what to do today, what to do now, and then perhaps what to be prepared to do tomorrow. And I also, Mama Fiyah, I wanna not miss this opportunity, because you said something important. She said this may be our last one for a while, or whatever the case is, and we're not trying to do this on a pretty consistent basis. But what if, I've been saying this for some years now, because it became very clear and apparent to me. But this is a time where, if you've never considered before about your place or your purpose or your reason for being or reason for living, if you've never pondered that or contemplated that, here is an excellent time where you've got time to really sit quietly with that. Because if we have, it's particularly in New Orleans, because for the way the curve is in New Orleans, the way people are infected, the way so many people have it, the way so many people have died, so many people are dying right now in the hospital, and so many more people will also be infected and die. But we know not everyone who is infected will die, and I don't want to say that it's doom and gloom all across the board, but we know it's very real just on the rona. People may have forgotten. People die of other shit too, y'all know. There are other medical things that people die of. There are other things that are going on right now that have never ceased either. But you see, that's how a ritual do it. Ritual can take that and make that invisible to you and cause you to focus on one day. That's when a ritual is really powerful. So I want you to understand the mechanics of effective ritual, and then use those and apply those in your own life. And I mean whatever life you got left. And I'm saying that because, everyone who is watching this live, everyone who will see this live, me, you, all of us are going to die. That's a fact. We don't know when, where, or how, but we know that that's a fact. Long before the rona and long after the rona. That is just a fact of our human experience. So this is a time for you to really find out for yourself, why are you alive? Like, what is going to be different about this planet and this experience? Because you have lived. Because many people now are so, we're survivors, y'all. African people, we are survivors.
We are.
We've been surviving all this time, and we have proven that we are hard to kill, and you can't kill all of us.
That's right.
And what we're finding is we really don't want to die, right? When people are in the grocery stores, Mama Fiyah, and they're buying all this stuff, and they're stocking up, and they're doing all of this stuff, that's evidence that people want to survive. When people are looking at every bit of news information and Twitter and updates and emails and everything they can find out about surviving right now, what herbs to take and what to, all of this is saying, I want to live. I have one question that I would like to pose to all of us who are watching this, who are part of this, and who are living this Rona experience right now, ask yourself, why? Why you want to live so bad? What's that really about? Why do you want to live? Is it your ego saying, I want to live because I don't want them to kill me? Like, what is your purpose and function for being alive right here, right now, in this time? See, to the degree that you can't answer that, poses a problem for everybody else. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? To the degree that you don't know why you're alive, poses a problem for everybody else. That is irresponsible on our part to not know the answer to that question. So, if you don't know it, and the reason I'm saying that is because when you know that question, that allows you to live more fully. That allows you to do what you came here to do. That allows you to benefit people in the way that you're intended to and not be just a consumer. When you know the answer to that question. So since you want to live so badly, ask yourself, why? And if you can't answer that immediately, discover why. But I can guarantee you, if your answer is to buy shit, that's a problem.
Come on, brother Shay.
If your answer is to see how much stuff you can get, that's a problem. And see, I'm asking you this kind of a question now because I want you to look at your own behaviors, your own normal, whatever your nature is, then look at the nature of the people you're associated with and connected to, and then ask yourself, how are these things interacting and shaping the consciousness and the reality that everybody's experiencing right now? What's your contribution to the Rona? Huh? What are you doing? Like, for real? Like, what part of this, what part are you playing in this ritual? You've got to know that. See, if you don't know that, that's a problem. That's a problem for everybody else. Because see, now that we got these stay-at-home orders and stay away from people, what you're finding, because someone else is demonstrating it for you externally, is that every single person matters. That any individual walking around right now could be a carrier for the Rona, give you the Rona, and cause you to die and suffer before you die. You don't have to know them. You don't have to be in no kind of relationship with them. So what this shows you and proves to you is that every single human being that is alive matters and makes a difference. The fact that they're alive right now in this time, in this moment, makes a difference.
Yes, it does.
The fact that you're alive right here, right now, in this moment in time is significant because you could already be dead. So my question to you is, why are you alive? Balance that out with this desire and urge that you have to want to live so bad in this moment. Why are you alive? And really consider and sit with that. And I would say, until you're clear about it, don't move. Don't go nowhere and do nothing, because that's irresponsible. If you don't know, that ain't nobody else's responsibility to know about you. That's what your work is to do. That ain't about the collective. That's about you, because that's how you form the collective. That's how you fit into the collective. That's where the unity comes from the unit. So this whole Rona mess ain't about us. This is about you. This is about the you. This is about the self. That's what the Rona is happening, and this is giving us an opportunity to really do that work if we haven't already been doing it. If we have been doing it, take that shit up high.
Keep going.
Take it high.
Just keep going. That's another hashtag.
Just keep it going. Yeah.
Just keep going. Taking care of yourself. Shout out to our sister Thea. She has been on fire on this this live thread. But we were talking about the new normal, and she gave the adjective, she gave the definition of normal. Conforming to a standard, usual, typical, or expected. Ordinary, customary, conventional, habitual, accustomed, expected. Okay, run of the mill, middle of the road, mainstream.
Mainstream.
We've been talking about the mainstream a long time. The usual, average, or typical. We are not that, my people. We are not a part of any system. We are outside of every system.
That's right.
On purpose, because we are not mainstream. They tried to put us in the mainstream. We do not belong there. You know where we belong.
That's right.
And we're going where we belong. We're rising. And that's
right.
What's happening. That's what you've been seeing all this time, the rise. And shouting out to my beautiful black women and girls. You're rising. You're rising. And so this is causing all kind of problems that they pulling out all the stops for.
That's right.
They're pulling out all the stops for you so you may not rise, brothers, black men and boys. They're pulling out all the stops to the point where they'll hurt their own.
That's right.
You know, as long as you old, and if you sick, you can go.
Right.
They're not even worried about that. As this is crumbling, this is some flailing kind of thing going on.
Right.
Stay steady.
That's right.
Stay steady in your mind. Stay steady in your body. Stay steady in your spirit. And watch yourself survive this.
That's right. And I would like to offer, if you do not survive this, I want you to consider that. If you do not survive this, if this is your last run, your last time, your last day, your last moment, if this is it, what will people remember about you? What is your legacy? What did you do? What did you do? What did you bring to the planet in this incarnation? See, you can ponder and contemplate that right here, right now, while there's still some time. We don't know how long, none of us know how long. But ask yourself, are you good if this is the last thing you do? Did you love and do all of the things that your heart told you to do? Were you really honest with the truth about who you were? Did you have a real experience? Were you real with people? Did you really do your best with people? Did you really do your best in this planet under these circumstances? These are questions that, because when you are gone, this is what people remember. And you got to ask yourself, will they say, I'm glad that, you were here, or good riddance? That is a choice. And if all you did while you were here is just try to get stuff, chances are you ain't making too much of a difference anyway. So this is a time for introspection, to be in spirit, inspired, and deal with your spirit, your respiratory system.
Right. Breathe.
And think about what we talked about.
Breathe.
We sure do. We
We
got
got
a
to
whole.
put it in the pack. We're gonna put something in the pack.
We'll put them shows together.
Yes.
I guess because we got time. but we would hope that whatever we said, if it resonates, fine.
If it doesn't, fine.
If it doesn't, fine, because that's the thing. We ain't trying to put nothing on nobody. We ain't imposing nothing up. We never have. This is purely whatever lines up with you and your spirit. But I would also say, do you have a relationship with your spirit? Do you know? That's the other thing. So many things about fire folk write off because they just don't know. And they don't know because we've not taken the time. So now that we got the time to get to know, let's get to know.
Get to know. So,
yes. So family, check out True Love Movement TV on YouTube. Share this video, and shout out to everybody who joined us, everybody who will watch it, who will share it, who will have thoughts about it. We'll keep of course, the thread will be open. Again, comment or don't, engage or don't. Think about it, have some conversations with. We ain't saying nothing that we ain't never said. That's right. We ain't talking about nothing we ain't never talked about. So we ain't have to make no real big adjustments about what we're saying or how we're saying it. And so now you can just decide if the time is right for you. And if it is, it's our sincerest hope. Mama Fiyah, this is the last live I ever do. I can live and die with what I said to do.
yes,
I can
this
live
is
and
not
die.
going to be the last live, Brother Shaq.
Well, right. But I'm saying that
Speak life.
this is
I know.
this is that serious that we should be thinking about things, because if we're not going to think about things in those terms, we ain't really got no business doing nothing.
You're right. I mean, we can't just give one side of this thing. We can't just give the warm and fuzzy side, but that's the difference in what we bring to the table, too.
Right.
Because I'm surviving.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And going to end up better on the end, that back end of this.
That's right.
I want to say something real quick. Y'all don't forget about your sage. Don't forget about using and utilizing sage to clean the air in your homes on a regular basis. And I know that we're we're kind of using less of things, we should be using less of things, because we don't know when things are going to shut down,
Right.
and the productivity and all what we need. So definitely eat less. Keep drinking your teas and your stuff. That's the important stuff.
Right.
First aid type of stuff is important, but like, use enough sage. Sometimes we use way too much sage, family. We use a whole bundle, and by the time we finish saging, the whole house is halfway gone.
Right.
Sage is very, very powerful.
It is.
It can be grown, but also sage is powerful too. And you don't need that much.
Right.
The Palo Santos as well. It's a spiritual tool, but it's also a very physical tool as well.
Practical.
We keeping something burning constantly in this household every day. We're burning things.
That's right.
to make sure that the air is also clean. I want to say that.
No, good. And I want to shout out to Sister Latoya. She hit me to something too about the sage.
Yeah.
So if you got sage, let's say you got sage, and many folk who do spiritual work know this already, but for everybody else, to also keep the air clean and yourself, your body, and energetically, you can get loose sage
Yes.
from the store, and you can boil it. You make a tea out of it.
Yes.
And it don't take. It's very, very concentrated. You can make lots of it. And hopefully, you've already got spray bottles. If you don't have spray bottles, and you make a supply run, get you some spray bottles. Get you some sage. Put some Florida water.
You got spray bottles. Just look under your cabinet.
Right.
Listen, you have all you need, family. You had all you need. Get into your. Wash it out real good. Dry it. Wash it again. Dry it. Whatever you got to do, you have spray bottles.
So use your spray bottles with the sage water this way, the sage tea, the sage water, and you can mist with that, with the spray bottle.
Yes.
So that's another way in case you don't have it to burn, or you got less of it, you can't find what you can
that
burn.
doggone tea tree oil, baby.
Yeah.
Everybody want to talk about they don't have Lysol at the store. Make you some bleach spray, make you some tea tree spray, make you some eucalyptus spray. Y'all know what to do. You already know.
You got time. You got time to be sitting there thinking about it.
And listen, sage tea, I drank sage tea for about 3 years of my life, every day of my life.
Yeah.
Sage tea is also good to drink.
You got me on that too, sage tea too. So,
Yeah.
so imagine how it's cleaning, because it's a cleaner.
Yes, it is.
So we wanted to offer you all that and just a couple of practical things. But really, while you're trying to survive, I would just say, really find out why you're alive. Why do you want to live? And then now is the time that you put everything that you've ever had into making that happen.
Into
making
survival.
that real.
That's right, into survival.
Because it's important that you're here.
Survival. We gotta show that video. Survival.
I got it too.
Black survival.
That's right.
Black survival. Oh, survival. 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 Black survival.
That's right.
Like, we ain't playing. It's in all the messages, family.
That's right. We ain't just started with this either. So, now's the time. If you're just coming into the experience, get into it fully. This is a beautiful opportunity. As a brother who loves and has allegiance to black folk, I want to see all of us make it out of this thing far better than we were when we went into it. And it is my understanding that on the other side of this, we will never be the same, and we shouldn't be the same. So look forward to experiencing a whole new thing on the other side of this Rona mess. I'm Brother Shaq.
And Mama Fiyah.
True Love Movement Tuesdays. Doing
Wholeness.
Sign off doing the Rona.
You can't do it from there.
Oh, that's
From
right.
there. Yeah.
Bam!
Share the show now.
Yeah, show this.
Share it up. We're going to be sharing some beautiful things. Share this stuff.
With folk you respect.